All right, welcome to the next fitness show. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for being here with me. And sorry, we had a little bit of tech issues in the welcome today, but that's all good. It's great to see you all here. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. Today, we are welcoming one of our own. We're going to get to know one of our teammates today. And this is one of our newest teammates. So I'm so excited not only to share her with you, but also to get to know her better myself. So this is going to be an awesome show. Our guest today is Kristy, and Kristy is a member of the Next Fitness Thing community. We refer to our customers as teammates, so she's one of our teammates. If you take classes with us, you might recognize her, or at least her name in the chat, as someone who you've been taking class with. And there is a lot more to Kristy than what you probably already know from being in class, or if you're new to our community, what you may not know at all. Kristy is not only someone who works out with us, but she is also a physical therapist with over 20 years of experience. So I'm super excited to talk to Kristy about that. And especially for someone who's been working out with us and has that background at the same time. What an awesome opportunity. Plus, she's a coach herself. So Kristy coaches soccer. She has kids, and she is also right at this place of um, being in this realm of perimenopause that a lot of us are. And I know that's what our show last week was all about when we had Gabby here. So today we're going to get to know Kristy. And Kristy, I come on in and say hi. And thank you so much for being here. Yay.
Thank you so much
Cool.
for having me.
Oh, it's such a joy. Okay, so Kristy, I know I probably didn't even do you justice, but what else is there anything else that you want to tell us about you, just like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. So I live in New Jersey, wife and mother to two boys. They're 12 and 7. They think they know more than I do, which is hysterical because they need me for everything. And I've been a physical therapist, like you said, for 20 years. And I treat all kinds of diagnoses from orthopedics to cancer patients to people who've had brain injuries or strokes, as well as people with dysautonomia. So people with long COVID or hypermobility issues, chronic fatigue syndrome. So I kind of see a lot of stuff. Um, and I just wanted to come on here and help any way I could. I mean, that's kind of what you would love to do as a physical therapist. That's why you do what you do.
Awesome. Nice. Okay, so my first question honestly is, how did you find the Next Fitness Thing? What made you join us and start working out with us?
So you used to have an old app that you used to belong to, and I was a
Yeah.
member of that app. And then
Okay.
when you guys, came over to the Next Fitness Thing, I was like, well, I'm doing so well, I think I can do this on my own. Okay, well,
Hmm.
that worked out for a little while, but
Hmm.
then perimenopause hit and it didn't work out so well anymore.
Right.
So I kind of got tired of not having a walking class, and that was basically the main reason why I came back was I really wanted that interaction from the walking class. But now I'm
Yeah.
starting to incorporate more of the strength training into you, and I'm using less of my other platforms and more of you guys. So I'm happy
Cool.
about
Awesome. That's so great. Okay, cool. Well, I'm so glad that you did, honestly. It's been such a joy to have you in class and to get to know you. Just so you guys know, Kristy usually takes the nighttime classes. Usually. That's when I've been seeing her. And yeah, I guess and what made you become a physical therapist?
I think it's pretty much what all physical therapists will say is they got hurt doing something and then they had to go to physical
Oh,
therapy themselves. So I used to play soccer
interesting.
and
Okay.
I tore my hip flexor on one side and I had like ankle sprains and all these things. So I had to go to physical
Wow.
therapy and I was like, oh, wow, this is a really cool profession. I also knew that I might want to be a veterinarian, but then when I saw how much money it was going to cost me, I said, no, I think I'll just stick to physical therapy. So, so that was a bonus. And honestly, I really love what I do. I really can't see myself doing anything else at this point. So it's, I think that's, like I said, about helping people and, changing someone's quality of life for the better.
Yeah, right. I know I can just speak for in my own family. I've only been to physical therapy very minimally, but in my family with my parents, both of my parents recently have been to physical therapy. And it has been like life-changing difference in physical therapy actually.
That's
So
great. They're good
yeah,
therapists then. That's awesome.
totally. And it's really awesome too that I know for my dad, like they would send physical therapy to the house too, and that made such a big difference. So that was really cool.
Yes, I mean, there's physical therapists through all different parts of the healthcare system. I happen to be an outpatient therapist, meaning that you come to me one time, like, 2 or 3 times a week for an hour, and then you go back home. But there are therapists that come to the house. There are therapists in the hospital. There are
Yep.
therapists that just in a rehab hospital where you go like after the hospital when you can't quite go home yet.
Right.
There are therapists who do just telehealth, who talk to patients.
Whoa,
Yeah, I
really?
know. Yes, it's amazing what you can do and teach people to do.
Well, I guess that's
Um,
what kind of, I mean, we're
yeah,
doing fitness, not
sure.
telehealth, but basically. So, okay, I
I
get
did it.
it.
I mean, not during COVID, I did it because
Whoa.
we weren't seeing patients, so I did it. It's an eye opener, and it's hard for both when you're used to that physical touch, but you manage, you make it work.
Wow. Okay. So if you guys, I know we have a lot of people who are here watching live right now. If you're here live and you have questions for Kristy, drop them in the chat. Are you cool with that, Kristy? If people
Oh,
ask,
yes, of
send a
course,
question?
please.
Cool. Okay. So right now, so far, Megan says, "Hi, Kristy. Lisa B
Hi.
is in here." And she says she just had to quit physical therapy because of insurance limiting the number of visits. Oh, that's gonna be the most frustrating part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that could be a whole nother show on
totally.
our healthcare system. Yes, that is tough. That's a tough one. It's a
Yeah,
tough one for us too, because just like you see, like doctors do peer-to-peers to get coverage. We do them as well to get more coverage for our patients. And it's just it's not the same as what it used to be. Let's just put it that way. It's
totally.
hard to get things covered by the insurance company. But that, like I said, that's all another story for another session.
Huge ball of wax right there. Totally. Okay. So, and then you're also a soccer coach now, right? I remember
I am.
hearing this in class. Okay, tell us a little
Yes.
bit about what are you coaching? How does that go?
So I played soccer all from second grade on until high school. I hurt myself pretty bad senior year, so I didn't quite get recruited as much as I would have liked. And actually, it turned
Mm.
out great because I really don't think I would have been able to play soccer and do the physical therapy schooling. So I feel like there was a reason
And was
why
that the
what
injury
happened.
that led you to want to be a physical therapist?
One of them, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got
I
it,
had a
got it.
couple like throughout my years, but that last
I
one was
see.
probably the one where I was like, yes, this is what I want to do.
Got it.
So now I coach my son's U14 boys. I have heard every fart joke that you can ever possibly imagine and or think of. There's nothing that you can say that will not I haven't heard before. It's interesting being a woman coaching boys.
Right, I bet.
I feel like, they do have a different sense of listening to a mom versus listening to a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's actually nice for them to have a little bit of each. So if they feel like they need a little bit more coddling, they come to mommy. If they feel like they need a little bit more, they come to dad. So I feel like it's been helpful. It's been helpful. It's nice. And I really do enjoy it. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And it's great because
Okay,
I'm on the
and so
sidelines. If they get hurt, if they have a concussion or they
right.
hurt themselves,
You
I can help. I just jump right in there.
yeah, that's great. I mean, you're kind of ideal as a coach in that way. I mean, in so many ways, actually. Um, and is this like a super competitive team? Is it like just a fun team? Is it, how serious are they taking
I
this?
think every kid does it a little bit differently. I
Okay,
think my son is more of a let's be a team and have fun. And there are other kids who are really into it, which is great. So I really just look at it as they're getting out, they're exercising after sitting in their desks all day long. So I'm
right.
happy to help them move their bodies and give them some, instruction and something that they like. So I try not to take it too seriously and just let the boys kind of do their thing.
Do the other parents take it
Oh
super
no.
seriously?
Oh yes. Oh yes. There's a lot of
Yeah.
if you've ever been a mom on a sideline or an aunt on the sideline or anything, you know that there are parents that take everything super seriously. screaming
Uh-huh.
at the refs and making a fool, but we just kind of try to draw back,
Right.
have a
I used to
talk.
be a
Come on,
cheerleading
guys.
coach, and so it was always like dealing with the kids is totally fine. I can
Oh,
handle it.
the kids
Dealing
are
with
great.
the parents was just
Yes.
like the whole other
That is
level.
the problem. The best is, I love this, is when a parent screams at their kid to do something, and I'm like, can you even do that? Like, they're like, run faster. And I'm like, how would you feel if you were like, I'm running as fast as I can, and my mom's yelling at me to run faster? Like, let the kids do that. Like, let them play. Like, don't, you don't need to encourage them in that way. A good job and great
Right.
work is all you need.
Right, right. Unless they're like unsportsmanlike or something, but
First.
uh, just stay out of it.
Yes. Let the coaches handle it. We got it, mom. I promise.
Yep. And sometimes it seems like it seems like I'm curious to hear for you. You're coaching, is it both of just one of your sons is on this team,
Just
right?
one of my sons. Yes.
Okay. And like you feel like he takes this direction from you just as well as he would from some other coach, or is it
Oh,
actually
no.
more
No.
challenging?
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't take direction from me at all. He takes direction from the other coaches, but not from me. So all the coaches who coach with their kids, we each have a kid. We take one because our kids don't listen to us. So
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. That totally makes sense. Uh-huh. Okay, Megan's in here saying, but the lessons that they learn either way will set them up for success in the future for soccer. Totally,
And
totally.
that's what
So,
half of this is about, is how to be a leader, how to like work with other people, communicate with each other. So
right,
yeah, I mean, they're gonna need all those skills, especially since most of them are on their phones all day long and they're not really communicating well.
right.
These are good skills that they could really use going forward.
100%. Megan also says you should have a reverse practice where the parents have to play and the kids can scream from the sidelines.
I have actually brought that up. I was told no because it could be a liability issue.
Yeah, sure,
If
of
if a
course.
parent gets hurt. But yes, we have thought about that on many of occasions. And I do play with the boys. Like, so I cannot run as fast as a 14-year-old boy. Like, they're much
Yeah, you
faster than me.
can.
And so I get that, and they're very gentle with me. But once in a while they'll take me out and I'm like, oh. But yeah, most parents, probably not a good idea.
Yep. Okay, question from Lisa B. What
Sure.
are the best exercises I can do to finish recovering from a nerve transfer due to undergoing surgery 10 months after my peroneal nerve was shot after back surgery? Okay, that's a very
Oh boy.
specific
Yeah,
question.
it's very specific. Um, Without, like, I don't like want to go too much into you, like, I don't want you to tell me your medical history, but I would definitely start to have like at least have an EMG just to kind of see, is there a potential for return of that nerve? And if there is, that's great. Unfortunately, a lot of that is just time, and I know everyone
What's
hates that.
EMG?
Okay, so an EMG is, they take little needles and they stick it inside the nerve so that they can see how quickly the signal gets to the area where it's supposed to get to. And there's standard guidelines for how fast things should move. And if the
Mm,
nerve has been pressed or pushed on, or and hopefully not cut, where there's nothing, then you can tell exactly how long it's going to take for something like that to heal.
I see.
So hopefully for her it wasn't cut and it wasn't a mistake, and it was just pressed on it, and depending on how long it was pressed on and how long it's compressed and how much it's still compressed, you may just notice that in a couple of years it just kind of starts to come back. If not, I would really just be working on your balance as much as you can, and your strength in your foot and ankle muscles as much as you can.
Hmm. Hmm. Great advice. Um,
If you want more specific, if you want to send me a message privately, we could chat. I just don't want to, like,
Mhm.
HIPAA violate you.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so the my next question really is like when you're working out, can you turn your like physical therapist brain off, or are you kind of analyzing the workout for physical therapy perspective as you're going through it, or how does that go for you?
I really do try to listen to the cues that you guys provide. I do find myself that I know, and I hope that all you do as well, that you know your own body well enough to know like that's not a good exercise for me. So,
Right.
like for instance, I've had two boys, both C-sections. I definitely have a little separation in my abdominal muscles.
Mm-hmm.
That's very common. A lot of women have it. So like yesterday, I was in the straps class with you, and you were doing curl ups, and that's really not a good one for me. So I just
Yep.
switched to dead bugs.
Cool.
And I just modified something where, we can work on, keeping that core control, but not putting so much stress into your abdominal pressure wise and making that
Mm-hmm.
diastasis worse. So, yes and no, because I do want to be able to do as much of what you're saying as possible, but I also want to make sure I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Okay, so what I heard you kind of say there is that you're not necessarily being critical from the perspective of being
No,
physical therapist, but you have a whole repertoire of exercises and knowledge to pull from when you need to modify or something like that for your own
yes.
self, so that you would have like good idea of what to do if something that came up wasn't the right option for
Absolutely.
you.
And I want to say, though, I have been very impressed in general with the platform in terms of the queuing that goes on and the kinds of exercises that you do. I don't feel like I've never been like, oh my God, that is so hard. I can't believe they're making people do this. I feel like you always,
I can
I
think
feel
of
like
a
you
few
always give
myself, but
like,
okay.
no, I mean, that's great. I mean, that you always give modifications and they're always encouraging people to, know their limits and do what's best for
Right.
them.
That's good. That's really, I mean, I personally find that really important, especially just given the people who are in our classes. I mean, there's some people in our classes who are great, amazing athletes, so in their body and like physically able and all these. And we have people taking our class from a wheelchair, people who are not willing to get on the floor or able to get on the floor for whatever reason, like people who are dealing with all kinds of different issues and things going on. And so it's like, to me, just in my heart, it's important to provide a place where um, the people who show up feel safe to be able to come to class and be able to participate as best as possible. There's definitely examples like it's really hard for me in yoga to modify everything for like a wheelchair. It's really kind of not possible a lot of the times. That's why I have a separate class for that, so that way there's a seated yoga class in case you can't really do the, on the mat yoga class or something like
Yeah,
that. But
I mean, I see that, and I feel like that's missing from a lot of other apps,
right.
platforms. It's very much focused on the athlete. So I feel like
Right.
that
All
you're,
the
yeah,
models are 25 years
yes,
old and they're
yes.
like, okay, giant broad jump. And you're just like, yeah, okay.
No, it's not happening. Thanks. Because when I jump, I pee myself, so no, I'm good. I don't need to do that.
Right. And I mean, the funny thing with that to me is like, who's actually spending money in this realm? I mean, how many 20-year-olds are actually like spending money on this? It's mostly women that are a little bit older that are more likely to have issues. So why are
Of
we
course.
catering to 20-year-olds, you guys?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I would doubt it. Every fitness app I've ever been on is mostly women 35 to 40 and up.
right, that's what actually
Yeah.
shows up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. The others, the younger ones go to the gym for sure.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess has there been anything that you've done in your fitness life? Like, I guess for my first question for you is just like, what kind of workouts do you actually like? It sounds like you really like walking. But in general, what do you actually enjoy?
I really do enjoy the yoga. Pilates is awesome too. Only that I have to modify a lot just to make sure that I don't again
In
hurt
Pilates.
the core. That yeah, because some of those teasers, oh boy, they are hard. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, the theory behind them is great. So I just go down a level. The bar ones kick my butt. I
right.
can't. Yeah, like you see like shaking like legs and but yeah, I mean I really just like being outside more than anything else. So
Hmm.
that's why the soccer is kind of more my thing. And I like to be in just engage with people in a group like setting. I feel like I
Hmm.
just get more
You're a
motivation and
team
more out
sports
of it.
person.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I'm
I think a lot
competitive,
of
so
us.
I can, I can beat down, but I gotta have someone else like watching me, like what is she doing over there? How can I do that
Yep.
better than her? Yeah.
I do kind of think that people in general who gravitate toward a group exercise experience tend to be someone who came from a team sport, usually, because it's like you are used to having an external motivator, like somebody who's kind of holding you accountable in some way or encouraging you or something. And also, it helps to have the group environment where you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself and that that's what you're doing. That's been my experience is group sports people tend to like group exercise. Has there been anything, do you like lifting heavy?
Yeah, I'm fine with lifting heavy. Actually, I mean, I feel like lifting heavy is better for, my age at this point. I'm
Right.
44. So I
Okay.
feel like in terms of for myself, in terms of the perimenopause that I'm going through, lifting heavy and lifting more than just doing cardio is kind of where I need to be at this point.
Okay, but
Um,
like, do you like it?
I mean,
That was
do
no.
yes, yes. I mean, yes. Do I like Oreos better? Yes, of course. But
Uh-huh.
it doesn't work like that. Like, so there has to be some compromise in life. And the compromise is that I'm going to be able to live longer and be healthier and, spend time with my boys and do all the things that I like to do. So, yes, I like it for what it's going to provide for me. As you're kicking my butt and I'm sweating my butt off, no, I don't like it.
Right. Okay.
It's yeah, of course.
That's a great answer. I think that's like a really helpful answer. I think there's a lot of people that are maybe in that boat of I mean, I personally actually really enjoy the experience of lifting heavy. There's something about it. I don't know if it's like, a clinical dopamine thing. I don't know. There's something about it where it just feels good to be like, like, like lifting heavy.
That's your
Car
kickboxing there, like the
yeah,
punching that.
like
Yes, of
cardio.
course.
Oh,
Yeah.
cardio is not. I mean, there's ways I can enjoy cardio. Like I can enjoy dancing, I can enjoy fighting. There's things I can do to enjoy cardio. But in general, I like lifting heavy, right? Where I feel like what I'm hearing is you are willing to lift heavy because you know and you like the benefits it gives you, but the experience of it, it's not necessarily like something you would just do for fun if it wasn't actually for the benefit that you would get out of it.
I guess I could say that, yes. I
Yeah.
guess, sure,
Okay.
sure.
I mean, and hey, maybe it's not helpful for you to think of it that way. Maybe it's more helpful for you to think, I love lifting heavy. It's freaking awesome.
Lifting heavy is part of my job, right? So I lift patients all day long.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so if you had a stroke and you can't stand up, there I
Okay.
am pulling you up. So
Okay.
to be able to even do my job correctly, I need to be able to lift heavy. So
I
I don't
see.
know if part of it is by the time I get home, I've already lifted heavy. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, I want a little bit more yoga and lengthening but I need to lift heavy. That's not always an excuse to not lift heavy. So it's a
Right.
combination of everything.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't actually realize that I mean, of course your job is physical on some level, but it sounds like it's actually more physical than I even understood it to be.
I mean, it depends on the patient. If you have
Sure.
someone with a brain tumor and their whole entire side is weak and flaccid and they can't move anything, yeah, you're going to have to be the person that lifts them up and gets them to standing or transfers them from their wheelchair to the mat. So yeah, there can be, I can be lifting someone who's 300 pounds
Right. Right.
safely, of
Um,
course.
right, right. You have like your techniques of exactly how you know how to transfer them. It's not like you're just like deadlifting
No,
250 pounds or
I'm
something.
definitely not deadlifting 250 pounds, believe me.
Right. Okay, so you've been doing this for a long time as a physical therapist. What is something where you see people that you're working with and you wish that they like knew this about their bodies earlier?
There's lots.
Okay.
So there's lots. So if someone's walking down the street, yes, I'm judging your walking. I'm gonna say it. I'm so sorry. I'm judging your walking. Because
Uh-huh.
that's that's part of my job is to look at your walking and how you walk and then the mechanics of it and how it is gonna, affect different parts. So I can
Okay.
see the person who has flat feet. I can see
Mm-hmm.
the person whose knees are starting to bow from arthritis. I
Mm-hmm.
can see the person who has a foot drop because they had a stroke and they're not wearing a brace. So
Mm-hmm.
you can tell a lot about someone and their history by how they're walking. So I do take a look at people a lot of times and say, oh boy, I wish that they would work on something like that and, get a shoe lift or put inserts in your shoes or, I wish they would wear that brace that their therapist probably prescribed to them, but they just don't want to because it's not comfortable. Because I'm
Right.
afraid you're going to fall. So yeah, I mean, but you keep that stuff to yourself because I've tried it a couple
Right.
times and it didn't go too well, unsolicited advice. So
I understand. I
yeah.
do. I very much do. And when you're walking, what are you thinking? What are like the things in your head when you're walking that you're checking in on?
I'm checking in my posture for sure. I want to make sure I'm not like forward with my head, my shoulders aren't rounded, that I've got my ears lined up with my shoulders, lined up with my
Mm-hmm.
hips, because that's best
Mm-hmm.
postural alignment. I'm making sure that my
Mm-hmm.
heel is hitting the ground first, that I'm not
Mm-hmm.
flat-footed,
Mm-hmm.
and that my shoes are actually like the correct, they're not too worn in or too, like old, that they are, so that my feet are in, because the first thing that hits the ground is your feet. So you want to make sure that you have good placement of your foot and ankle, and then your ankle strength is good so that you don't twist, turn, and hurt yourself. So those are the
Mm-hmm.
things I'm looking for when I'm
For
walking.
yourself when you're
For
walking.
myself, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being aware of my body, like, oh, hey, like my hip feels a little bit tight. Like, I got to make sure I stretch before we go out for a walk, or else that's probably going to hurt more. So, being aware of
Mm-hmm.
yourself and your body and how you can treat yourself.
And what's something where you wish someone would have gone to the physical therapist earlier, where you see it all the time and you're just like, "Ah, I wish they would have gotten here earlier."
Yeah. Um, I don't know. There's so many different things, but always the bigger ones for me. Some things are, they can be easily changed. If you sprain your ankle, yes, okay, we can get you back on your feet. You're going to be fine. It's the people that ignore like major symptoms, like numbness and tingling in their hands and arms, numbness and tingling in their feet. I've been falling or losing my balance more. Those are things that I'm like, oh, we really need to have a good neurological exam to see if there's anything going on. And sometimes time is of the essence for a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like another one is for women, like signs of a heart attack and signs of a stroke are different for women than they are for men. So
Mm-hmm.
like knowing that like, hey, I can't, raise one hand or and when I smile, one side of my mouth is down. Or if I
Mm-hmm.
stick out my tongue, that's not good. All right. So,
Right.
and people tend to go, oh, it'll go away. It'll go away. It may not go away. So it's best to get to your local ER and have it checked out because maybe it's nothing, but it's only going to cost you one day
Right.
versus maybe
Right.
eight
It
to
may
10
be,
months not being able to walk or doing what you need,
mm-hmm.
what you love and want to
Yeah,
do.
especially if it's gonna exacerbate if you don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And what on the other side, what is something that people tend to like push through and they like shouldn't be pushing through?
Oh my God. If I hear another patient say no pain, no gain, I swear, like it's, I don't know where that phrase came from,
It
whoever
came from
made
their
that.
soccer coach when they were 10 years old.
Maybe, maybe. I really don't know. But and I always correct them. I'm like, yes, a little bit of pain is okay, but if you're having pain every time you do an exercise, that's not good. It shouldn't be
Right.
that painful. Like, it- listen, your muscles may get sore or tired, but like if your knee is killing you every time you squat, stop squatting until you talk to someone who can show you
Hmm.
how to squat either the right way or you get a diagnosis of what's going on in your knee. Don't try to push through. I give it more than 6 out of 10 pain if you're
Right.
having, yeah, it shouldn't be that painful.
Yep. Yep.
And if you're having
Okay.
pain, you won't want to do the exercise. You'll stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right.
then you're starting the whole cycle of being, sitting around and eating bad and being depressed. So yeah, we don't want you to have that. We don't want that.
Mm-hmm. Good answer. Okay, so I guess my next question, you're working with people who have a lot of different things going on, and you're speaking also that you are also, I mean, one of the things you said is like you're in perimenopause right now. We also just talked to Gabby last week on this show about hormonal health with women and that kind of thing. So I'm curious to hear from your perspective, both from your perspective personally and also from people that you're working with. What do you wish that more people knew as they are in perimenopause and even beyond? Like, what information do you think is really important?
Feel like the most important thing is you don't have to suffer. Yes, perimenopause and menopause are natural things that happen to us as we age, women. But
Hmm.
you don't have to suffer through all the symptoms. There are ways that hopefully Gabby talked about a little bit of giving you some relief. I watched my mom, she's 72 now, suffer
Okay.
through menopause and turn into the Wicked Witch of the West because she was out of her mind. Because 35 years ago, a study came out that said hormone replacement therapy isn't good for women. So that
Uh-huh.
whole generation of women never had any kind of help. And I think women my age, so I'm 44, are starting to see that that's not true, that bioidentical hormones are available to you. They are safe with most instances, and they can give you relief, and you don't have to be suffering.
Okay.
And,
So in
you
your
know,
experience, people doing hormone replacement therapy is like a great resource that for people to be
absolutely.
able to.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and listen, you are always the master and controller of your own body, right? So just because hormone replacement works for me, and I am on hormones, I
Okay.
am on estrogen and progesterone.
Okay.
Um, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But you have to work with a team that's going to be able to help guide you in terms of what's going to work best for you. And you have to give it time. You're making changes, and as your body changes, the medicine needs to change as well. But I think that there is an option there if you're interested in doing it.
Hmm. And like from your lens, how would you know? I mean, one of the things Gabby brought up that I thought was really insightful was like, you know, it's really hard to know which doctor to go to be able to have help with this. So I guess from your lens, how do you know what doctor to go to? And also, how do you know if you are in a place like for me, I'm 46 and I have like I'm itchier than I've ever been in my entire life. That is all. I still have my period, totally normal, but I've never been this itchy before. I feel like it has to be that. What else could it possibly be? Like,
So
so,
that is definitely one of the things.
uh-huh.
So for me, I think I was 42, like when it
Okay.
started. I
Uh-huh.
literally just woke up one day and I could not go to sleep. I could
Wow.
not go to sleep. Like no matter what I tried, no matter sleep hygiene, melatonin, whatever I tried, I would be up every hour on the hour. I could not sleep.
Wow.
I was tossing and turning, pulling the covers off me. Oh my God, I'm so hot. My husband's looking
Okay.
at me like, "What is wrong with you?" Like I couldn't go to work because
Uh-huh.
I wasn't sleeping. And so I was like and I had postpartum depression after both of my children, so I knew that it had to be something hormone related. Like you don't just go from like zero to nothing like that
Right.
fast. So
Right.
I went to my gynecologist, and she was very nice, and she was honest with me, and she said, "I'm going to be honest. We did about maybe 1 day's worth of, you know, learning on menopause." And I went, "In 7 years of doctorate school?"
Like
And
in
she's
medical
like, "Yes."
school?
Yep. And I went, "Oh my God." And she's like, she goes, "I can't give you hormones." And I bawled. I bawled in her office. I was like, "Please, I really need to try this." And she's like, "I can't help you." And I went online, and I just went like on the local, just looked around, like, and there's a, Facebook group like moms in our town. And I said, "Who is
Okay.
anyone seeing for perimenopause? Like, what's going
Okay.
on? I feel like a mess." And, a couple of other women said, like, hey, there's this woman and she's a menopause specialist and
Okay.
certified with, a menopause society. So you can go on the Menopause Society webpage and you can look up doctors. And she like came in the first day, like I saw her, and she's like, oh, so like, what are you feeling? She goes in and writes down. She goes, yeah. So do you want to try hormones? I'm like, oh my God, yes, please give me the hormones.
Uh-huh.
And 90% of the symptoms went away. I started sleeping better, no more hot
Wow.
flashes, no more like feeling like I was in a fog and like couldn't remember anything. Like
Uh-huh.
everything got mostly better. Is it perfect? No, I'm still tweaking it. But I'm so grateful to her because she was willing to at least entertain the idea of trying to help people. So
Right.
I think you have to do a little bit of due diligence in finding a good, doctor who's going to work with you. And it
Right.
is a two-way street. It's not just them giving you medication. It's about you telling them, like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is how, like, I adjust the dose. When they do take your blood work, they do see where things are at and they do take into account how you're feeling. But you have to have a good relationship with someone that's going to help you do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. That's good. That's great. Thank you for sharing your personal experience with it too. I think that that's like for me, that's like a very helpful way to hear about how it went. I love that you went and asked other women in your town who they're going and seeing. That actually seems like a really smart way of approaching it. Megan's in the chat saying the itching is diabolical. Seriously. It's
So,
like making me itch to just think about it.
like I said, I think I saw there are something like 80 symptoms of perimenopause, eight
Whoa.
different kinds of symptoms. So, like, I have like major ear itching, like inside of my ear. Like, I just want to crawl in there with a Q-tip and like, "Arr." So,
Ah.
but
And it's
I don't
not
have
even
any other
somewhere
skin
you can
issues.
scratch.
Yep.
Oh,
And so I don't have any other skin issues. So like you and I, kind of different. So
right,
when everyone's body is different in terms of what they're going to feel. But I mean, usually itching is a histamine response. So your body is producing excess histamine for whatever reason,
right,
probably because whatever hormone was telling it to not do it is not there anymore. So that's why you're
right,
what you're getting. So
right. Yep. And okay. And the other thing that you mentioned you might be open to talk about that is kind of a hot issue right now is so many people are on GLP-1s. I would love to hear like what are you seeing professionally with that? What would you say to somebody who is thinking of taking or is taking GLP-1s? Like what's your lens on that?
So I am very much for doing whatever you want to do with your own body. I'll start with that.
Hmm.
I would never say to not do something. If a patient wanted to try it, I would absolutely say go for it and give it a shot. I think that for certain percentage of the population who's just maybe taking it just to lose 15 pounds real quick to get in their wedding dress, I, I might try to steer you away from that.
Hmm.
But I have a lot of patients who are severely obese and they can't exercise and they can't move and they've had 3 heart attacks and they've had a stroke. So, yeah, if they want to try a GLP-1 and they could lose some weight, that it would help them be able to walk more, yes, go ahead, give it a shot. I feel
Hmm.
like there's a pros and cons, and you just kind of have to weigh what's good for you and what's good for your body. Um, long-term side effects, do we necessarily know? No, we don't necessarily know. But if
Right,
you know you've already had 3 heart attacks and you've had 6 stents put in, maybe it's worth unsure of
right.
what's going to happen later so that you know you could get healthier. And there's lots of great studies that show for women, especially, it helps with, maintaining cardiovascular function. It helps with all different kinds of things. So I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. The only thing I would quantify and say is that you need to have a exercise plan routine and you need to have a nutrition routine. You can't just use this just to lose 10 pounds because once you get off of it, it's going to come right back. And then
Right,
you're going to have to take a larger dose to be able to take off the next 15 pounds that you want to lose.
right.
So when you're on a GLP-1, a lot of times besides losing fat, you lose muscle mass. So
Right.
here's where the strength training comes in and lifting heavy. So there's goes back to perimenopause. So a lot of women are being told, "Oh, go on a GLP-1, you'll lose that perimenopause weight," but then they're not exercising. So there are just two good reasons why you should be lifting and moving as much as you can.
Yeah, right. And are you seeing, I mean, it's interesting to hear this because you're actually working with people and seeing what's happening for people. Like, are you seeing people who, like, through my lens, it seems like, okay, you're going to use this pill or shot and lose weight, and it is, some of it will be muscle and some of it will be fat and some of it might even be bone. And then, like, are you seeing people who, like, they can actually exercise better when they're taking it? Yes, you are
Yes.
seeing that.
Yes.
Right.
Because when the weight comes off, there's less pressure on the joints. They feel better, they're less depressed about the fact that I'm overweight, they're more motivated because they look better, they feel better about themselves. So
Sure.
yes, then they want to continue that trend. But I always, if I have a patient who's going to start a GLP-1, we always have that talk about how it's just a tool. You are still the person that's guiding your own body, and you still have control of certain other things, and you need to make sure that you do these things along with that so it doesn't become a problem where you're like no muscle mass whatsoever, because then
Right.
you're going the opposite direction. Now you're not going to have enough energy to walk. Now you're not going to want to do the things that you have before because now you're so tired all the time. So
Right.
there's a fine line. So yeah, but
Right.
I've definitely seen it work for people, and help them. Diabetes management, absolutely.
Right. Right. Which is like what it was originally created for in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
Seems like it. I mean, I could be wrong. That was my
That's
understanding.
nope, that's what it was made for originally.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. I have, before we go so first of all, Kristy chose a stretch and a move of the week. So we are going to get to that. But I just want to do a maybe like rapid fire round just to kind of like get to know you a little better. Are you down for that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Workout morning or evening?
Evening.
Okay. Barefoot or sneakers in your
Oh,
workout?
barefoot, barefoot.
Okay. Um, you prefer soccer practice or soccer game?
Oh, games, for sure.
Okay. And what's an exercise you love that everybody else hates?
Oh boy. Oh, geez, I don't know. Mountain climbers? I don't really,
Okay.
those don't bother me that much.
Uh-huh. What's your
I don't know.
favorite class at the Next Fitness thing so far?
Oh, so far, I mean, the walking classes for sure.
Uh-huh. Any specific one that you like?
Oh, the one with the this or that. Would you rather, like
Uh-huh.
this or that?
Would you rather? Yep,
You
yep.
come up with some
Um,
ones, and I'm like, I can't answer that. It's not fair. That question's not fair.
what's something that you are ridiculously good at?
Oh boy. I'm like super, super anal about like organization.
Okay. Uh-huh. That's
Yeah.
great.
Like
Yep.
everything's like color coded in my closet. Like I have a sock organizer, underwear organizer. I'm very anal about that.
Okay. Yep. If you could not be a physical therapist and money was not an issue, what would be your career?
So I have two. They're vastly different from each other.
I
I
love
did
that you
kind of
know
mention
the
that
answers
I
to
did want to be a
this.
veterinarian. I did want to do an
Uh-huh.
animal. But the other one was I wanted to be a mortician. I
What?
really, yeah, I know. I feel like they're very different from each other. But I feel like something about that, like, calls to me a little bit. Like, making sure that someone's last, like, time they see their family is, like, where they
So you
don't
want
look,
to like,
yeah.
mortician means like doing the hair and makeup of the person after they're deceased.
But also just like making like talking to the family and finding out about the
Uh-huh.
person and like seeing like what they were like and the relationships between each other and that kind of thing and making sure that everyone feels like the send off is nice.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. I could see you being really good at that. I feel like that's probably the most lucrative job we've talked about, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't I really don't
Those
know how much
people, I think,
morticians
make a
make, but
lot of money.
I'm sure there
Um,
are. I've never seen a female mortician, so I don't know if that's just like a not done thing or,
uh-huh.
but
Okay, last question. What is you're in New Jersey, right?
yes, I am.
Okay, what's the best food in New Jersey?
Oh, bagels. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, yes, without a
What's
doubt.
your bagel order? What's your bagel order?
So I'm usually will do poppy bagels if I'm going to
Okay.
do bagels at all, but it depends on what I put on it. If I'm going to be a glutton and I'm doing bacon, egg, and cheese, poppy. If I'm doing like turkey, then I'll do sesame. If I'm doing tuna, I do plain. But there's something about a Jersey bagel, like it's just the right amount of doughy and crisp. They're not flat or squished. They're just, I don't know, you go down to Florida or you go out west and it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same. I think it's on our water.
Okay.
Maybe we have something weird in our water that makes it good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try a bagel in New Jersey. I've never
Um,
had a bagel. My dad's from New Jersey originally,
ah,
so I have family in New Jersey, but I've never
yes,
had a
get,
bagel there.
yes, tell them to freeze it. It still tastes better frozen than fresh from anywhere else. Freeze it and send it to you. Swear.
Okay, that's amazing. That's hilarious. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, the time has come for our stretch break. So Christy picked the stretch, and the time has come for the stretch break. So today's stretch is, hold on, I gotta get click and double click sometimes is such a thing. Here we go. Our stretch is world's greatest stretch. All right, Christy, why'd you pick this?
I just feel like it hits like every single part of the body. So if you want like a good like bang for your buck, like this is it. Like I mean, look at his hips. Look how like wide open they are. He's got that length going down that posterior like part of his back and his calf muscles are activated. And then
Yep,
he gets that thoracic spine twist in there,
yep.
both down and up. And then along with the neck rotation, so all that upper trap muscles and lat muscles get worked. It just like hits everything.
Yep.
And I feel like you can just do that a bunch of times and just feel like you're ready to go.
I'm so on the same page. I always say, if you're only going to do one stretch ever in your life, this is the one. And I don't know. I mean, I could think of about five other things that
Wow.
might be actually a good idea. But all right. So for someone who I have a couple questions, I know how I modify this, but I would love to hear from you. Like, if someone was not able to put their hands on the ground, how would you modify this for someone who couldn't put their hands on the ground?
Um, can they not put their hands on the ground because they can't put weight through their arms, or is it because they can't put their
No,
hands on the
just
ground because it hurts their wrists?
it's I think most, at least from our team, it's more like it takes a really long time to get to the ground. And so, we might only have 45 seconds in class to be able to do this stretch. And so it's more of a like, by the time I get there, the exercise is going to be over.
Got it. All right. So if that's the case, just elevate the surface. Go on your couch if your couch is a little bit higher, like the where you put your armrests, and you can just do it on there. That's fine. Or sometimes like I have my treadmill. I just go down on my treadmill, kind of go there. But yeah, anything you could put your hands on weights if you can't
Yep.
like get them all the way down to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, just elevate your body. I mean,
Cool.
you could probably even trying to think if you could even, I can't really do it against the wall. I mean, maybe, but that'd probably be a little too tough.
Yeah, sometimes I'm saying like you could do it maybe standing and step back into a lunge and then twist towards your front leg
Yeah.
and something like that. What about if you had someone who is taking class seated and they're like they're in a wheelchair or something like that, or they're just seated in class dedicated to seated, what would the version of this stretch be for someone seated?
So I would say open your legs as wide as you possibly can. Try to forward flex yourself as far down as you possibly can. And then
Mm-hmm.
take the hand and thread that through or put it behind the head. And you can bring that elbow through and then just do the other part where you come back up and bring that all the way through. You're still going to get that nice upper back rotation. You're still going to get all that neck and upper shoulder stretch. And you'll still open up the hips nice and wide. And especially with people who, are sitting more for their wheelchair. The hamstrings get really, really tight. So that way to work up open up the hamstrings and make sure that your hip abductors are loose and stuff, because you need to be able to make sure that if you're at a wheelchair level and you're staying at a wheelchair level, that you can open up your legs so that you can do hygiene that you need to be able to do.
Oh, great perspective, actually. That's awesome. Good thinking. Okay, I love hearing that from you. Thank you for sharing that too. It's helpful for me even just to have a different perspective on like what do you say for this one. So cool. Okay, awesome. World's greatest stretch. Also, I will say, Kristy and I were talking about this a little bit before we started today, and the other version of this is we would call it runner step twist. It's basically almost the same. Almost the same. So when you see that one come up, it's whether you see it called World's Greatest Stretch or if you see it called Runner Step Twist, same suggestions basically. Okay, now it is time for the move of the week. All right, for the move of the week, I did my best with the request. So the request from Kristy was standing on one foot. So the version of that I have is tree pose. But I'm really curious to hear from you. Why did you choose standing on one foot, and what do you like about this? What recommendations do you have for people?
So the reason I chose this one is because from my perspective, a lot of times as we age, our ankle range of motion decreases and the
Mm.
strength in our ankles decreases. So you can, I am not picking you apart, I swear. You can kind of see if you look at
No,
the foot
you
right
can
there.
go for it on mine. Yep.
You can kind of see at her foot how that ankle is really, really wiggling a lot. And sometimes
Yep.
that foot turns in.
Yep.
So those foot intrinsic muscles there, where you have the arch of your foot,
Mm-hmm.
those tend to be weak with most people. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
you see that foot turning down. And then as that foot turns down, then the walking pattern changes.
Yep.
The other direction is if your foot's turning too much to the outside, which yours is not, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tend to have sprained ankles,
Mm-hmm.
where your ankle rolls. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that you have strong ankles and that you can hold that balance so that you don't fall. And if you fall, how to basically get yourself back up is to be able to put your weight through your legs and your ankles to help you move. So we want to make sure that we have a normal range of motion and that we have good strength in the feet.
Nice.
So that's my
Okay. And you mentioned something about closing your eyes.
Yes. So there are three components to your balance system. Proprioception is what you feel at your feet. Vision, which is what your eyes tell you where your body is in space. And then your vestibular system, which is your inner ear system. So in this one right here, you're on a flat surface, which is great. And your eyes are open. And so it's telling your body where you are. So it's saying you don't feel like you're tipped over to the side or you're not leaning backward. When you close your eyes, if you guys want to do it right now, you can. If you stand there and you just close your eyes, you don't have that visual component to tell your body where you are in space. You could be standing on the ceiling for all you know. You know you're not standing on the ceiling because you know what you're doing, but you don't have anything where to tell you I'm orienting to a position. So when you close your eyes, you get a real feel for what your strength is in your ankles and your legs, and actually how weak your vestibular system is. So depending on as we age, and depending on if there's any other comorbidities, that vestibular system goes down and down and down and down. And as we age, we lose the range of motion in our ankles and we lose the strength in our ankles. And so then it puts us at more of a risk for falls. And then
Mm-hmm.
what happens when you fall? Well, you hurt yourself. Okay, you hit your head or you break a hip or something else. So we want to make sure that that base of support that we use every single day, that we probably all abuse, is good and strong.
Mm-hmm. And if you, I know I showed tree pose, which is connecting your foot to the inside of your leg, but if you were having someone stand on one leg, how would you have them do it?
The only thing I might change is that I might not have them put into the tree, only
Right.
because I want to see what happens on that stance hip when you don't have something that you're putting your leg into. So a lot of
Right.
times when people stand on their leg, I'll see that hip kind of drop to one
Yep.
side and down, so that I will know that there's weakness in their hip abductors, on that outside of your hip muscle area.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure that you're, again, that pelvis and core area is nice and strong. And if I see
So you'd
that that's
lift the knee to
dropping,
the front.
I can front or back is fine with me, as long as you're not
Okay,
placing it on your other leg to support it. So as
got
long
it.
as that leg is up, then I can see how much movement you have in the hip area and where the weakness is there as well.
Got it. Very dance slash cheerleading. Yep.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, in from a structural sense, women's pelvises are larger than men's, right? Obviously to
Hmm.
support childbearing. So we tend to have weaker hip abductors, which is that muscle on the outside of your leg. So that's kind of normal. So I want to see, especially for a woman, I want to see, is that weak there? Because that's going to be another reason why you may be having falls, or you may be having pain, or you may not be moving as well as you should.
Right, right. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Cool.
You're welcome.
This is fun to talk about. All right, it's time for announcements. Our first announcement is the new thing. So here's the new thing coming up. It is called Reset Your Routine, and this is going to be our September program. So I have not actually released what the scorecard is yet, but you can go to the nextfitnessthing.com/reset and sign up, and you will join the wait list, and I will email you the scorecard. This is basically going to be a way for you to focus on your health habits in the month of September and to track your health habits in the month of September to be able to sort of reset. Because I know for a lot of us, summer is fun and you kind of get out of the normal routine. And so September really feels like this time of coming back and resetting the routine. So this is a program. It is completely free, whether you are a member of the Next Fitness Thing or not. You can join, you can get the scorecard, you can participate, and there is a prize. It is going to be a random drawing of everybody who sends in the scorecard by the end, and I am providing the prize. It is going to be a gift basket from the Domestead, which is my homestead in California. So you'll get a gift basket of all the goodies coming out of the Domestead. Um, and if one person will be entered, or one person will win of all of the people who are submitting the scorecard by the end. It starts around Labor Day and it will end October 10th. So you have the whole month of September to participate. So you can sign up now. Go to the nextfitnessthing.com/reset to sign up. All right. The other thing I want you to know is that Find Your Fit. Find Your Fit is the free YouTube series that I'm doing 9:30 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. It is Monday is strength, Tuesdays TRX, Wednesday is walking, Thursday is Pilates, Friday is yoga, and every week has a theme. This past week was mobility theme, and this coming week is rotation. So we are going to be focusing a lot on rotation and anti-rotation this coming week. This is totally free. And if you have friends that you wanted to turn on to the Next Fitness Thing, this is a great way to invite them because they don't have to really sign up for anything. They can just show up on YouTube. Okay, book club is this Sunday. This Sunday. I encourage you to show up. Even if you didn't read the book, come anyway. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific with Melissa this Sunday. Melissa not only is leading the book club, but she wrote the book. She's at least the co-author of the book. So go check it out. I am working on this book right now. I usually do audiobooks, so I'm a little slow in the reading, a little slower than I would have liked, but I'm appreciating that on Kindle you can make the print as big as you want. Okay. And the other thing I want you to know is that True Crime, Anna is coming back this in September. The next True Crime is going to be September 13th. So it's not the first Sunday of the month. It is going to be the second Sunday. And we're going to do the second Sunday of the month for the rest of this year. Anna is back. Yay! Anna is back. Don't get me wrong, Edie, we love you and we love your true crime also. And we're just so excited that we love Anna too. So come to True Crime Walk with Anna. You still have a couple weeks. I mostly just wanted to let you know that it's not this coming weekend. So it's coming up in a couple weeks. All right. And that's all I have for announcements. All right. Kristy, is there anything else that you want to say to the people while we have you here?
I mean, thank you so much for having me. It really was fun just to chat and to get to know, for you to get to know me and for us to get to know you. And if there's anything that you guys have more specific questions on, I'd be happy to answer them. I can send Alexis my phone number, and if you want to text me, you can text me. Absolutely. I hope that you found it informative, and
Oh, it's great. I loved talking to you today, and I love getting to know you better, and I love having you in class. You have been just like, it's been so much fun to have you join class in the evenings and just like having you in the walking class, and you add so much to the conversation. It's awesome. So,
I apologize for my sarcasticness.
oh, whatever. That's like the best part. And if you guys have questions for Kristy, you can definitely send them my way and I'll forward them to her so she doesn't have to give her personal information on YouTube or anything like that. And Kristy, just thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing you in class. And I'm cheering you on. I'm cheering on your soccer team too.
Thank you.
Yeah.